And so it is, beloved masters. Everything is about energy. And the energy of the planet is accelerating. In fact, it's moving so rapidly, and humanity has lived in an energetic belief that you have to keep up with what's going on. And the energy of this evolutionary process has now reached a momentum, a velocity that you just cannot match. In fact, it is time to learn how to slow things down. And you can't do it by trying. You can't do it by resisting. You can't do it by refusing to move. But you can allow yourself to live more and more connected in synchronicity. Synchronicity is a God-given gift. It is a blessing. It is something that was a part of the whole when you were created to come to this place. Living in synchronistic energy actually allows you to be in the flow of time. Time which doesn't exist. Time which is a universal energy. Time which is the marker of the outcome of any event, dream, desire, passion, imagery. What you call into your life, you call by energy. What you create in your life is totally based, beloved masters, on where you focus your energy. So, beloved masters, focus your energy on happiness, on ease, on peace, on the delight of what you would call into your life. And you began the synchronistic process of not only having universal flow, moving your desires to you, but it's almost as though you put out a call to anyone that is following the same basic synchronicity, and they will move into sync with you. They may bring answers that you've been looking for. They may share ideas that put pieces in your puzzle. If someone synchronistically comes into your life, then it isn't only that they've brought you something, though they have, but it's also that you have something for them. And the more that you hold your energy in alignment with synchronicity, the easier it is to get the answers, to give the answers. Synchronicity is something that many people have experienced from time to time. And then, after a time, it seems as though the synchronicity disappears. People who read the Celestine prophecies, when they were first published, many of them moved into a synchronistic flow in their life. And yet, slowly, things began to return to how they were. Some of it was because if there is not a constant sensory excitement, the ego gets bored. Synchronicity is living in an absolutely beautiful energy place. To live the delight of life. To keep your energy high. To feel connected to beauty, to nature, to things that lift you up. The world basically has been focused, and still is, on what's wrong. In fact, the mind goes to what's wrong with this situation, and how do we fix it? What do we need to get rid of in order for things to flow? So the focus is on what's wrong. Synchronicity doesn't focus in need. It doesn't focus in want. It doesn't focus in desperation. It doesn't focus in impoverishment. And it certainly does not function well when the focus is on victimization. So if you're looking to live in synchronicity, it is directing your attention, the focus of your energy, to higher consciousness, and calling for synchronicity. But it isn't a mental process. In fact, dearly beloved masters, to live in ascension, to live the energy of the escalation of revelation, you are absolutely required to get out of your head and center. So all of the wonderful energies of spiritual evolution function in higher consciousness. And in the beginning, it's like building a muscle. And you are required to stay present with yourself, to be energetically alert, attuned to what is coming into your life that has to do with your dream, your imagery, your desire, to Focus on living the life that you truly desire. And feel it. Feel the excitement. Feel the joy. Don't limit yourself, beloved masters, by narrowing the point of your focus to such a small area that you limit the breadth, the depth, the scope of the energy of higher consciousness. I want a good life. That's wonderful. And that's a broad statement. What does a good life feel like? Not what do you think about it, but what does a good life feel like? When you're having a wonderful time, how does it feel? It feels uplifting. It feels connected. It feels joyful. There is laughter. There is camaraderie. There is, and we would hope this would be true in these times, conscious conversation. And this is a point that is very necessary to really keep the synchronicity flowing. To have conscious conversation. To not only talk to someone, but to feel the energy flow between you. And to be absolutely truthful. To speak of how you feel about the situation that is being discussed. It is about how you feel. It isn't my truth versus thy truth. It is being honest with yourself and others in the conversation, which very often may mean revealing things that you have judged cannot be revealed. A lot of times, people that are on a spiritual path will not speak of their spiritual journey to someone that they believe is very involved in religion. So you don't get a conscious conversation. And yet in the energy of these times, it is imperative that everyone began to integrate with others. We've said it many times, and we will say it again. There is no one group, religion, political persuasion, and certainly not any one human being on the ball that has the answers for the whole. Yet, when the whole begins to share energy, to be honest with each other, to look for the highest consciousness in everyone they meet. You can look at someone's face and you may see fear, anger, how tired they are, how frustrated, how victimized. But when you breathe in and then look again, and just in a state of relaxation, of soft vision, don't stare at them, but allow yourself to see beyond the facades that people put on for the world. And a lot of times they actually believe that they're showing the world what it wants. But as you allow your energy to connect with theirs, you begin to see almost another face. You begin to see their higher self. And when you commune with that higher self, the honesty of communication is enriched. To be honest with yourself, because the world has wanted to avoid anything that, quote, I discover about myself that I don't like, that embarrasses me, that I don't want others to know about. And that has certainly thwarted conscious conversation, open communication. So it requires that you be lovingly, honestly, truthful with yourself about yourself. Not painful judgments and abusive criticisms, but simply the acknowledgement that, yes, there are things that you probably would change about yourself. And in truth, you can begin to allow those changes to happen. You can't force them. You can't make yourself change any more than you could force someone else to change. But as you get comfortable in love with you, it allows you to have much more comfortable relationships with other people. Very often starting with the person that you are in relationship with. The more that you love yourself, feel good about yourself, are honest and truthful and clear with yourself, the easier it is to be truthful with others, which opens the way for new levels of synchronicity, the sharing of ideas. A lot of times, two people will be talking and one will start a sentence and the other one finishes it. And many times, the finish of the sentence is really exactly what the first one was going to say. That is a connection in conscious conversation. It really isn't a power game nearly as much as it is a feeling of the at-one-ment, the unity and harmony of the ideas that are shared. when people can approach each other in this open, clear honesty and integrity, they share themselves. And sharing yourself isn't a power giveaway. It isn't some brutal illumination of everything that's wrong. It is an open interchange that very often lifts everyone involved to a higher level of energy, a deeper expression of self. Synchronicity, conscious conversation, feeling integrated, connected, at one. And all of these things lift the energy, expand the beauty, open you and others to a deeper sharing, a richer experience called life. As you live in higher dimensional frequency, as you focus on beauty, the exhilaration of being at one with nature in love, the thrill of living life, then you begin to feel yourself energetically filled up. Your energy begins to rise, and you are aware that it is rising up, expanding, almost as though now your energy is reaching out to others, not in need, but in sharing, in embrace. It isn't that your energy is leaving you. It's simply that you feel your energy anchored in your heart soul, and yet you feel it so much bigger, so that it encompasses those that are around you, and it actually assists them in love to open up, to express themselves more honestly, to speak about their dreams, their desires. Very often in this uplifting energy, people find themselves saying, I don't know why I'm telling you this, or I never said that to anyone before. But in the supportive energy of love, everyone benefits. In the pulling in of energy that fear creates, it diminishes your energy field. It diminishes the energy you have to accomplish. It shrinks your space. It causes you to feel trapped. And the focus on fearful things simply collapses the wonderful energy of synchronicity. Everything suddenly feels flat, boring, lacking color, depressive. And in that energy, you simply empower and create more of that essence of diminishment. And it becomes fearful of other people, afraid of what they might think or do, afraid of their differences, rather than the energy of synchronicity, which focuses on unity, at one-ment. They may come from another country. They may have a different skin tone. They may believe in different religious principles, or they may hold a different political ideology. But in synchronicity, in the inclusion, in the reaching out, in the embrace that allows everyone to feel safe together, there is an empowerment that allows each one to begin to appreciate the differences rather than fear them. And it's all about how you use your energy. When you allow yourself to get angry, and anger is just a very thin, energetic veil for being afraid, but anger is much more macho. Anger, in many places, is the only acceptable emotion. And yet, it really does not hide the fear all that well. You can listen to a group of angry people, and it doesn't take very long, if you are paying attention, to hear them expressing the fear that the anger is hiding. Primarily, for most people, it's a fear of loss. Loss of love, loss of support, whether it is emotional or financial, loss of livelihood, loss of the ability to have what you desire. So when there is fear, it is to really consider that when you identify the fear as a fear of loss, the fear now has a name. And loss is something that you can energetically address. Now, I can say to you, in God there is no loss. And that is an intellectual statement. But when you feel into yourself, take that energy to your center and actually begin to connect within yourself with the unconditional love of God. You began to realize experientially, that God did not create a planet of loss. God created a planet of plenty. But in the duality of separation, and everything in separation has had two sides, including the ego that has two heads. And one represents, supposedly, the negative polarity and the other the positive. However, ego has become so cunning over time about how it plays with energy that it will tell you that you should do something, and after it's convinced you that you really, really should, then it says, are you sure? Are you sure that's the right thing? Are you sure you're making the right decision? Are you sure that's true? So, paying attention to where you are focusing your energy is literally going to make a difference every moment, beloved masters, in the life you are living. Every moment. Keep your energy high, and you feel supported. You feel much more comfortable. You feel rich. And you feel the excitement, the tingle of the magic, the electricity of the magic that you, as a divine magician, are producing with your higher connected consciousness. Focus on your fear, your limitations, your doubts, what they say. And it is, beloved masters, your life will begin to feel very heavy. And the tingle of the magic isn't there. We have said that if you're functioning in the fifth dimension and up, you are functioning in the higher frequencies, and the higher you allow your energy to go, the more creative, synchronistic, magical life becomes. The more you allow your energy to collapse, the more you feel that you're stuck. There's no way out. There's no answer. There's no solutions. And certainly in the third and fourth dimension, the mind is overactive about solutions. In fact, who can come up with a solution the fastest has been marked as the smartest, the most wise, the most adept. And yet, solution orientation tends to hold humanity in the quagmire of old energy, as everything about that game of separation is passing away. That is old energy. And you are now moving your consciousness into new energy.